Welcome to Learn at Home with VIA. My name is Jessica Roberts and I'm a pre-K teacher for the CSIU at Boyer Run Pre-K Counts. I'm here this morning in front of the Washingtonville Volunteer Fire Company in Montour County, Pennsylvania, and we're going to be learning all about fire safety. I'm here today with Mr. Jim. Mr. Jim is a firefighter at the Washingtonville Volunteer Fire Company. He's one of their officers. Do you hear that sound? Do you know what that is? That is his breathing. Mr. Jim, can you breathe in there?
Yes, I can.
Do you hear his voice? It's very muffled by this.
Hello.
On the side of Mr. Jim, there is an air cylinder. This is full of compressed air. And it goes through this tube to the, what is this called?
Regulator.
It's a regulator. That's what allows the air to go into his face mask. All right, Mr. Jim, you can go ahead and shut that down so we can hear you talk.
Is that better?
Can you hear him yet? I don't think they can hear you yet.
Not yet. Well, then I'd have to take this off.
How do you take that off?
Well, I have to start at the top.
Okay. While he's taking those off, I'm going to show you these. These are his gloves. That's right. These are gloves. Fire gloves are designed to keep the firefighter's hands safe. They are thermal
barriers.
They are thermal barriers. That means it keeps the hot out and the cold out. And it also is water resistant, so his hands stay dry. And it also is fire resistant, so his hands don't get burnt. So these are his gloves. They're very big, aren't they? Yeah. What else do you have, Mr. Jim?
This is my helmet.
Whoa! And it's heavy. Why is this helmet so heavy?
To protect my head.
It keeps his head safe. It's hard. So if something would fall on his head, it wouldn't get hurt. And this shield keeps his face and eyes safe. Why do you keep beeping, Mr. Jim?
It's warning me that I have stopped moving.
So if he stops moving, that tells him that he's in danger. He better keep moving. All right, and it lets the other firefighters know that maybe one of the other firemen quit moving. Keep taking some gear off. Let's see what we have here, Mr. Jim. Wow, that is really cool. It kind of looks like something you would wear in the wintertime if you wanted to keep your head warm. And I guess it could work that way, right? This is a Nomex hood, and the Nomex hood is also a thermal barrier, and that means it keeps the hot or the cold out. And it also keeps his head from getting burnt. This is where his face is. And see how it goes down over his neck? So it also keeps his neck area protected. Let's see who's inside of this. There's Mr. Jim. Hi, Mr. Jim.
Hello.
This is his face mask. That's what he was breathing through. His face goes in there. This helps keep it on his head. And this was where the regulator was attached. That sound might have sounded a little scary. I want you to use your imagination. And I want you to imagine that you're in your bedroom, in your house, and there's a fire. If it was dark and there was a fire, that would be so scary. And if you heard that sound, that might be really scary. But now you know it's not anybody scary. It's a firefighter that's there to come help you. All right, what else do you have today, Mr. Jim? Oh boy. Is this light?
Not light at all.
Is it heavy?
Very heavy.
What is this?
This is an SCBA, or a self-contained breathing apparatus. This is a high-pressure cylinder full of compressed breathing air.
So there's air in here that goes through the tube to your face so that you can breathe. And boys and girls, it's really heavy. It is really heavy. So he had that on his back. Now can you imagine crawling through a house looking for someone in a fire with that on your back? Oh, that's hard work. Now that we can see you, Mr. Jim, we can see that you have this very big, heavy coat on, and you have some big, heavy pants on, and some big, heavy boots on. Let's see how this coat works.
First I have to open the Velcro strap, and unzip, and it's open.
I bet that feels a lot cooler, doesn't it?
Much cooler.
There are how many layers to this coat, Mr. Jim?
There's 3 layers. Inside this coat is a whole nother coat, and that consists of 2 layers itself.
So the outer layer helps to keep you dry, and the outer layer helps to keep you cool or hot, warmer, and this also helps to keep you from getting burnt, correct?
Yep.
Why do you have these shiny things on the sleeves?
That's to make us more visible to cars when we're on highways for accidents.
So if a car's coming and their headlights hit that, they know you're there, and that helps to keep you safe also. What does this middle layer do?
That is a thermal barrier on one side and a vapor barrier on the other side.
What does the vapor barrier do?
The vapor barrier will help to stop steam vapor from water put onto hot fires, and it will also help to stop chemical vapors in hazmat situations.
So if you're near chemicals that are bad for you, that will keep them from getting to your body. Boy, that's important. What does this inner layer do?
That's another thermal barrier. That's to help keep us protected from the temperatures, whether they're hot or cold.
So sometimes if you go to a fire in the winter time, it's really, really cold here, right? And if you have water coming out of a hose in the winter time, what happens to water in the winter, friends? It freezes, doesn't it? Yeah. And when that water is freezing, how does that feel for you guys?
It gets pretty cold.
It gets pretty cold.
We freeze too.
And so that helps to keep you warm. But if you're in a fire and there's hot fire, that helps to keep you safe and keep you cooler. All right. Why don't we take this coat off? And friends, do you remember how that air pack was really heavy? This coat is also really heavy. If I put it on you, I think you might even fall down. It is that heavy. And you can see the outside is that thermal barrier, that protection, that fire protection. And inside, you see that shiny? That also is a layer to help keep you safe. And inside his pockets, there are so many pockets, Mr. Jim. What are all these things in these pockets? What are they for?
Well, they're tools to help me get my job done, because we never know what we're going to need to complete our job.
Now, I have one of these at my house. I think I know what this is. I think this is it's a flashlight. Do you have a flashlight at your house? Yeah, I have flashlights at my house. Why would you have a flashlight, Mr. Jim?
So if I go out at night in the dark, I have light to see so I don't fall and get hurt, and so I can see what I'm trying to work on.
That's really important. You have to be able to see to do the job safely. Mr. Jim, I see that you have another pair of gloves here. You had those thick black gloves, but you have another pair of gloves here. What are these for?
They're just thin leather work gloves to protect my hands at car accidents or cleaning up after a fire.
So those aren't waterproof or flame thermo resistant like the other ones?
That's correct. They're just a plain old leather work glove.
But they still protect your hands?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Before we put this coat away, I noticed the back of the coat also has a lot of that reflective marking so that people see that you're there. That keeps you safe. All right, Mr. Jim, I noticed that you have this thing across you. Can you tell my friends about that?
That's my two-way radio. That's so I can communicate with the others I'm working with and let them know what I need or what's going on.
And that gets you information too when you need it.
Sure does.
All right. What else do we have here? You have a lot of equipment and it's all really heavy. So I see you have these things. My grandfather used to have those. Are those suspenders?
They are.
And why do you have those suspenders?
To hold up my heavy pants.
So you have a lot of stuff in your pants pockets too.
I sure do. I have big pockets.
And that makes them really heavy, and the suspenders help keep your pants up.
Yes, it does.
I don't think it would be good if he was at a fire and his pants fell down. What do you think? Probably not. All right. So tell us about your pants, Mr. Jim.
Well, my pants are built like my coat. They have multiple layers to them. There's actually pants inside of pants.
Pants inside of pants. Why would you have that?
Well, it has the outside layer, which is the fire-resistant materials to protect me from the flames, and water-resistant to help protect me from the elements. And then it has the thermal barriers and the vapor barrier, and then another layer of thermal barrier inside.
And I see you have another pair of gloves.
Yes, I do. Those are my vehicle extrication gloves. They're for when I'm trying to help somebody out of a wrecked car.
So vehicle extrication, that's a really big word. That means helping get somebody out of a car after they've been in an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we learned another new word. I noticed that your pants have something that my pants don't have. What is this?
That's a gel-filled knee pad that is designed to help protect my knees from being cut and punctured. And there's also padding in there because when I'm inside a fire working, I have to crawl on my knees. And that helps pad my knees so they don't get hurt.
Wait, I learned that when there's a fire, if you're inside, you get down, you get low, and you go, go, go. So when you're going into a fire to help somebody, you also get low.
That's correct, because the smoke and the heat from the fire rises towards the ceiling.
And so those help keep you safe when you get low.
That's right.
That's really smart. Okay. What else do we have, Mr. Jim?
Well, inside the pockets.
Oh boy.
Inside the pockets is just more tools and toys to help me get my job done. And there's more gloves and that kind of stuff. So just extra toys.
Lots and lots of materials to do this. And I noticed that Miss Jess likes to wear cowboy boots, and I have cowboy boots on today. But I noticed your boots are different than my boots, Mr. Jim.
My boots are a leather boot too, like yours.
Okay.
But my boots have a more thermal barrier inside of them. They have insulation to help keep my feet cool in the hot fire. But they're also waterproof to keep them dry. And then they have hard toes, so if something falls on them, my toes don't get hurt. And they also have a hard sole, so if I step on a nail or something like that, it doesn't puncture my foot.
So it sounds like a lot of the clothes and the gear that you wear is designed to keep you safe so you can help get other people safe. Is
That's
that right?
correct.
Okay.
Because if I'm not safe, I can't continue forward to complete my job.
All right. Behind us here, Mr. Jim, I see one of your trucks. And it says that this is an engine. Can you tell me what an engine does?
Well, the engine is one of the first lines of attack on a fire. This truck is designed to come in, bringing our hose lines, which we use to put water on the fire, and it has the pump to give us the flow of water that's required. And it also brings us ladders and axes and saws and all the stuff that we need to work on a building when it's on fire.
So an engine would be one of your first trucks that goes out to a lot of your calls.
Yes, it would be.
All right, so that's a very important truck. And I see that it has 2 doors, so you can put people in the front and you can put people in the back.
That's correct.
All right. How many people would fit in a truck like this, Mr. Jim?
This truck will hold 5 personnel.
5 people. Wow. That's a lot of people to go out and help. All right. Hi friends, we're here at the back of engine 83, which is the engine we were just talking about. And Mr. Jim, there's a lot of things back here going on. What are some of the tools that we have here? I noticed we have this, and it kind of looks like a big garden hose. What does that do?
Well, that is one of our fire hose nozzles, and that's connected to hose line that we have connected through the truck to get water out to the fire. Up in underneath this top up here,
wow,
we have all kinds of hose so that we can get the water from the truck to where we need it.
Wow, I noticed you have different size hoses there. You have that really skinny one, and then you have a medium size one, and then you have a really wide one. Why do you have different sizes?
Well, the really big hose we use to bring water to the truck from fire hydrants or other water supplies, so that we can pump it through the truck and into the smaller hoses, which we use as attack lines to fight the fire.
That's great. And then it just gets cleaned up and tucked up in there when it's all done.
Yep, so it's folded and ready to pull out for the next fire.
Boy, I bet that when you're done at a fire though, and you have to clean it all up and fold it all up, I bet that's still a lot of work, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So you've been at a fire where you were fighting the fire, and then you have to come back and you have to clean and do more work.
Yes, we're required to clean up our toys when we're done.
Oh, just like my friends have to when they're done. See, even firefighters have to clean up their toys. What are these things here, Mr. Jim?
They're fire axes. We have a pickhead axe, which is designed for doing some jobs, and we have a flathead axe. And that's more designed for just pounding on things and forcing our way through.
When would you use an axe? Are you cutting down trees?
Well, sometimes you have to cut your way in through a door, or cut your way through a floor, or even a wall, depending on where the fire's at.
So you have to find the fire sometimes to put it out.
That's correct.
Okay, that's good to know. What is this thing?
That's just a cover cap for the water intake at the back of the truck.
So those big hoses that we saw might attach to something like this to help bring water in.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. Now I see that we have 3 different colored helmets. Do people match their helmets to their outfits? Why do you have different colors?
Our different colors just signify a little bit of what the job is of the people who are wearing them.
Okay.
The white helmets usually refer to your chiefs and your other officers who are more in charge of figuring out how to do the job and telling the others what they need to be doing and what direction to go.
So you would have a white hat because you're a chief, and so you help to tell the other people where to go and how to be safe.
That's correct.
Okay. What's a red hat do?
A red hat is just our regular firefighters, and they're trained to as high level as we can convince them to work towards, and they can do any job pretty much that we ask them.
So a firefighter might help at a fire.
Mm-hmm.
They might help at a car accident.
That's right.
They might help if there was a flood.
Mm-hmm.
They might help if there was a really bad storm and trees came down.
That's right.
They might help direct traffic. They have a lot of different jobs, don't they?
Yes, they do.
And who wears these black hats?
Well, we use those for our junior firefighters.
Wait, what's a junior firefighter?
Well, in our department, starting at the age of 14, they're allowed to join our department and start learning how to fight fire and help participating. And from the age of 14 until they reach the age of right before their 18th birthday, they can be a junior firefighter. And then when they turn 18, we can move them up to a red helmet, so they're free to do whatever we need done.
So kids can start to learn to be firefighters too before they're grown up.
That's right. It gives us a chance to start teaching early.
That's great. So if you're interested in being a firefighter someday, remember, you might get to wear a black hat too. All right. So I see here that we have what looks like a coat rack, but there's a lot of stuff in here. Some people keep their gear here, their firefighting gear here.
Mm-hmm.
And they each have their own assigned spot.
Yes, they do.
And I noticed that they have their pants tucked down around their boots.
Uh-huh.
Is that so they can hop in them real quick and go?
That's right.
That's really quick. That's pretty cool. Do some people take their gear with them?
Some do because they live very far from the station, and it takes them a little while to get to the calls.
So this station is a rural fire station. That means it's in the countryside. It's not in the city. And so firefighters come from their houses to the fire hall to get the trucks, or they're taking their own trucks to the fire scene or the accident scene. And so some people have their gear with them. Is that right?
That's correct, because none of our firefighters live at the station.
So we don't have anybody that sleeps here.
Nope. We
Okay.
all volunteer and come from our homes when we're needed.
All right. So you don't have to be a paid firefighter to be a firefighter. You can just be a volunteer and help out in your community.
That's right.
All right. Mr. Jim, I noticed that this truck looks a little different than the big engine we were looking at before. This one looks a little smaller, and I noticed this really cool thing on the front. What is this truck?
This is our brush truck. We use this for fighting rural wildland fires and field fires, grass fires, that kind of thing.
So sometimes somebody might be burning something, and the fire gets away from them, and it catches a field on fire, or maybe somebody was smoking and they threw their cigarette out their car window,
Yeah.
and the field caught on fire. You guys would take this to go put out that fire.
That's correct.
What do you do with that?
Well, that's called a remote monitor, and we have a controller inside the cab that we can move that around with, and the pump on the back of the truck pushes water out of this nozzle, and we don't even have to get out, so we can make a real quick attack at a small fire.
So it's kind of like a video game remote control,
It sure is. The
But
kids
it's-
do better than the old guys do.
but it squirts water.
That's right.
That's so cool. So can you tell me a little bit more about this truck? It looks like it's smaller than the engine.
Well, this is a smaller four-wheel drive truck that we can use to get off of the paved roads when we need to.
And I see you have this big thing here. What is that?
That's some of our portable lighting so that we can light up areas at night when we're out in the dark if there's trees blowing down or items such as that.
It would be pretty hard, I think, to work at night on the side of a road when it was dark.
Yeah.
So
it
this
takes
helps
more
you to
than just
see.
a little flashlight.
Gotcha. Okay. So our last vehicle that you had to show us today is our rescue.
Rescue truck.
What does a rescue truck do?
The rescue truck carries a lot of our tools that we need to help get people out of bad situations, whether it be car accidents or any kind of emergency.
And you have some tools here. What do
We
you
have
make?
a lot of stabilization and hand tools here for keeping cars still while we're trying to work on them. Underneath that, we have all of our hydraulic extrication tools that we can cut and pry a car apart to get people out who are stuck in them.
And we learned that extrication means to get somebody out of something. And I see you have some more rescue tools here. These look like doctor bags even.
Well, this is a lot of our rope rescue equipment for when we have to work down over the sides of steep hills and such things. And this here is our medical equipment. So we can do a basic medical evaluation on somebody before they get taken to the ambulance.
So if somebody gets hurt, you guys can help them until an ambulance gets there.
That's correct.
Wow, this is a very important truck then.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today at Home with Learn at Home with VIA. Up next is going to be Arthur, and his sister DW is going to learn all about fire drills and about fire safety. Have a good day, friends. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.